All right, so I got some bullet points of things that I actually want to cover. So if you see me looking down, that's what's going on. Now, why am I making this video? I am making this video because I have watched countless videos of, just different things about joining the military, right? The Army specifically. And most of those videos just scared me anyway. So my goal is to just share my experience and a breakdown of what actually happened from my point of view and my experience. So first, let's talk about the hotel check-in. Now, I chose to just have the full experience, right? My recruiter picked me up from home, took me to the hotel, and then picked me up from MEPS. I believe that is generally the process that they do want you to follow. They do prefer that you do stay in the hotel, but I don't think it's an actual like requirement that you have to stay there. You would just need to meet the bus at the MEP station at the correct time, and then you just go in there with them. Because I do believe that there were people that actually drove to the hospital and then not the hospital, they actually drove to the hotel and then drove to MEPS. So, what was check-in like? Now, first of all, I check-in is about let's see, I think you can start checking in at 3 or 3:30, and then I think you could start checking in at 3 o'clock, and then you have until 7:30 to check in. And I do know 7:30 specifically because we had a briefing that we had went to, and the liaison had said, Ebony, if right now you do have a room by yourself, I did confirm that, but if someone else doesn't show up, which is it's a possibility that they could, if they didn't show up after 10 o'clock, actually, because let's see, so 7:30 is check in, the end of check in, but he said that they have to accept them up until I guess whenever they came. But he just told me after 10 o'clock he wasn't going to let nobody else come in my room. So anyway, so I arrived to the hotel about let's see, I had my recruiter pick me up at the house about 5 o'clock p.m. So we got there probably about 5:30. He Soon as we walked into the hotel, and I had been in this particular hotel several times, and I never even noticed this particular place, this room or anything like that. So when we got there, he walked me straight through to the liaison room. It's a whole military liaison room right there. And I mean, he just gave him my name. I had to sign in. I had to provide my ID. I mean, basically, it was just a room where there were games, there were tables, kind of like, you can kind of hang out. Like, I don't know if you've ever been into a USO, but just kind of think of it like, kind of just a chill out room. But there's also someone manning the desk there to check people in. If you leave the premises, which you are allowed to, there is a curfew, which is that 10 o'clock time. You just have to make sure that you check in and out by signing in and out, so they have to account for you. They did say that if someone was at the hotel and then they didn't check in, no matter like where they were, they do have to file a missing persons report on you. So imagine that. Imagine getting a missing persons report filed on you because you forgot to check in or check out. So um, so yeah, so once you check in, like I said, he took my name down. I showed my ID. Then I sat down. He had to go over all these rules, which I think I do have a picture of. If I do, I'll insert it somewhere in this video. So it was just the rules, what to expect, what's going to happen next. And then I went on to my room. The room, like I said, it was a double room. Most of the people who were there, they actually everybody there had a roommate except myself. Now, there were 69 people checked in this particular time. It's been a little over a week now. I went to MEPS the day after Memorial Day. So it's been a little over a week now that I went. And so, let's see. There were 69 people. Most of them were shipping. There were only 11 of us that were not shipping. And then of those 11, I was the only female. So that made things a little bit better for me, us as a group, really, because we kind of got through it all pretty quickly. People were quiet. There were some people who have obviously, probably known each other through this experience. I'm sure they've been to MEPS, more than once, especially if they're shipping. So they knew each other. Some of them were shipping together, going to the same post basis, because everybody is not going to be Army when you do go. There was like maybe one Marine female. There were a couple Navy. There were a couple Air Force. A lot of people were Army though, but just in case you aren't aware, MEPS is the Military Entrance Processing Station, and they process for all branches of the military. So my thoughts walking in, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. It was really that fear of the unknown. It was also like, okay, I would rather me tell them that I can't do something than them disqualify me for medical or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like something could have came up that I just don't qualify, right? Probably could have been medically. And so there were just a lot of things I was very just nervous about. Mostly, am I in good enough health to go? Like, I feel like I am generally healthy. I don't have very many, issues. I'm not on medications or anything like that. But I just feel like it's just the fear of the unknown. You just really don't know what you're walking into. You don't really know what to expect. Now, granted, I did do this 22 years ago, but again, I was 19 at that time. So things was just a lot different. Now, let's talk about dinner. Hold on, I've got company. Yes.
I just came to check on you.
Thank you, baby. I'm doing good.
Can we go play in the backyard?
No, you cannot go in the backyard, and I'm in the front yard.
So can we play in the front yard?
No, because I'm recording, and then I'm gonna get distracted. But I'll tell you what. After I'm done doing this, I will let you guys play outside for a little bit. Okay.
Gigi, when mom said
All right. So let's talk about dinner. Dinner you could get from like 5 to 10 p.m., something like that. And I do have after I'm done recording, then I'll let you guys go outside. But you guys can't keep interrupting me though.
Fine.
Yep. But you can't keep interrupting. So don't come back out. Okay? Don't come back out if you want to go outside and play. I said don't come back out while I'm recording. All right. So dinner is like 5 to 10 p.m. and you could pretty much just go down. So when you check in, you get your dinner ticket, and then you get your breakfast thing. And they actually do it in a pretty a way to help get their things back, right? So they give you a little red ticket for dinner, and then the actual pamphlet is what you return back to them. That actually is for breakfast tomorrow. Right now I'm recording. When I'm done recording, I will let you go outside. If you come back out again, I will not allow you to do that. No, you cannot have that. It's trash. I do have a video of what the food situation was. Now, I knew that I personally was going to have to tape in, right? And so I was very careful with what I ate. But I'll tell you, there was like a lot of carbs. So there was like pasta. It was like some marinara sauce to go with it. Then they had some baked chicken, which I ended up getting baked chicken. They had, I don't even want to call this a salad because it was so terrible. Like it was just like some lettuce, some green olives, some croutons, and some raisins. And then they had some like some Caesar dressing or something like that. So in any event, I ended up getting chicken. I got the lettuce, and it might have been some cucumber. And then I put some Caesar dressing on there. So not really good at all. Let me see. When I went to the hotel that day, I only packed. I made sure I had something to sleep in. Made sure I had my toothbrush, toothpaste. My personal hygiene items. There are some rules in terms of things like not to bring and wear. I mean, obviously, you're not going to bring any weapons, no types of like fireworks or anything that looks like a weapon. If you have it, they're going to give you ample opportunity to turn it over to them, or maybe have somebody come pick it up or throw it away. Whatever the case may be, just don't get caught with it. For females, I know that you cannot wear a wire bra. I know I was seeing online that you should not wear a sports bra, but my recruiter did not actually tell me that. He just said a wire bra, don't wear a wire bra, and don't wear no thongs. So, yeah. So, I did not get no sleep that night. It was just not a good experience because I was so nervous. I was very, very nervous. So wake up time. Let's talk about wake up time. Wake up time was supposed to. So they said they were going to call us at 4:20 a.m. Ain't nobody called me. But the deal is, they wake you up at 4:20, and then you got to be downstairs at 4:30. Okay, so you got literally 10 minutes to get down there. And if you go down there without your, I almost said battle buddy, but if you go down there without your roommate, then they're going to send you back upstairs to go get your roommate. So just keep that in mind. And I was up, I slept a little bit, just a few hours. I got up probably around 3 a.m. and then I just stayed up. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else that I'm missing in terms of that? So, breakfast was had a lot more. I feel like variety, but still things that Again, I knew I had to tape in, so I definitely was not about to be eating all the potatoes and all of that stuff. So I had something really simple. I got a couple boiled eggs, some oatmeal. I got boiled eggs and oatmeal. But they had like scrambled eggs. They had, I had a piece of sausage links. So they had scrambled eggs. They had sausage links. They had some those home potatoes, the little potatoes, oatmeal, and some apples and one orange. So I got the orange, the only orange that was there. Of course, they got your coffee, and then they had some lemonade and some water. So I just had some water. Again, I know that I'm going to have to tape in. I also want to make sure I'm watching my blood pressure, so I'm not about to go crazy in here. And plus, the food was probably nasty anyway. But more people. This is where I got a chance to see everybody. Oh, let me backtrack. So the night before, we did have a briefing that we had to come downstairs for at 8:30, and again, that was just telling the rules again, just giving up people another opportunity to give up any weapons or anything that will be considered dangerous going into the MEP station. And that was really it. Oh, the people who have never been to MEPS, there was a video for them to watch on the TV. All right, so fast forward, we back to the next morning. Yeah, so people were more social. I was even talking to people, just trying to find out, hey, where are you going? What branch? What's your MOS? That type of thing. Bus ride. Bus ride was really quiet. It was, what time did we leave? We left, I think the bus pulled out probably about 5:45 because the hotel is generally not that far away from the MEP station. So the bus ride was really quiet. I think there was a lot of nervous energy. There were people talking, but again, these were people who had, met each other during previous MEPS visits, and now they're shipping out and headed to like the same boot camps, right? So we arrived at MEPS. We had a new bus driver, so I think he kind of messed things up a little bit in terms of he was not supposed to let us off of the bus before we had a briefing. Um, but he just pulled up and he just literally said, "There's the door." And we got out. We started getting out. The MEPS person came out and was like, "Whoa, yeah, we're not supposed to be off the bus yet." So I just let him know what happened. The bus driver pulled up and said, "Y'all basically can get to stepping, get up off of here." So he just gave us, our little briefing just to let us know, make sure that we have our IDs and our social security cards. So you would have those in your hand pretty much the entire MEPS visit. Like you're going to be showing that at every single station that you go to. There's a room you have to put your bags in. Actually, you have to put every single thing in there. If you got a water bottle, you're going to put it in there. If you got any type of smartwatch, you're going to put it in there. Phone, you're going to put it away. Like you're not walking around with no phone, no type of electronic device, anything. Okay. Um, I didn't even have my social security card and my driver's license in a Ziploc baggie because everything has to be left in that room. And you can go in there like if you need stuff, but you cannot bring your bag out of there. At the end, when I was waiting on my recruiter to actually pick me up, he actually had texted me and said that he was there. I went in there to get my bag, and I was texting him to make sure he wanted me to come out, because he could have been saying I'm pulling up and he 5 minutes away. And so they were like, "Ma'am, you need to put your bag in there." I'm like, "Oh, actually, my recruiter is here." So I was about to walk out the door. So there are a lot of civilians. There are some retired, military people who work at the MEP station, but a lot of them are civilians. And so I don't know. I feel like I'm adaptable. I can pretty much adapt anywhere. And so I didn't really have a problem. I mean, the ladies actually had me like cracking up because I just feel like they're just so. This group was particularly very relatable to me as a person, anyway. So I did a lot of laughing, little inside little jokes or whatever that I caught on to. So I just want to let you know that every MEPS location is different, right? But this is my experience, right? That's why I created this channel because I just want to document my experience as a 42-year-old single mom re-enlisting in the United States Army. All right, so now let's talk about the station. When we first got there, I had to, let's see, what they had me do? I had to go, so there was like a couple of lines, one for processing, one for testing. If you were not shipping out, you had to get into, matter of fact, before we went in, he separated us. We had people that were shipping and people that were not shipping. The people that were shipping, they went into like the cafeteria to go do whatever they were going to be doing. And just by me walking by, going to the bathroom and stuff like that, it seems like they were watching some videos and stuff like that. There were a couple of people that I did end up seeing back in medical, and I can't remember the reason why they were there or if I even asked that question because I was so nervous. I was really just minding my own business. Now, us that were not shipping, some people were there for testing, which because I am prior service, I did not have to retake the ASVAB. Okay. Your ASVAB scores are good for a lifetime. You can choose to retake it, but I do believe that whatever the most current scores are, that's the score that they're going to go by. So I took it when I was 19. I'm 42. I'm good. I ain't doing it again. So that day I did not have to do that. I was strictly just scheduled for the physical. I did end up having to do a cyber test and TAPAS. TAPAS is the personality test. And then the cyber test was just really just asking you things about cyber stuff. Some of it was like computer stuff, I guess, just to test your knowledge. Now, the person who manned that testing room, he told me that, pretty much just take your time, do well, because that cyber security test could potentially open up more job opportunities for you. Now, because I'm prior service, I don't know if that applies to me, because I did learn that there are certain things that do not apply to me. Now, one of them being, I've mentioned a couple of times that I have to tape in, right? Meaning that I know I'm not going to meet height and weight, right? And so they get a measuring tape and they measure around your belly button area, and then your waist, your hips. Yeah, so like my hips and my belly button. Actually, medical did not do that. Medical only measured around my belly button. But when I got to the liaison room, the sergeant major, master sergeant, I can't remember rank, but the liaison that was in there, he actually did around the belly button and my hips. So I don't know. He failed me though, if you're wondering, he failed me. But that's cool though. But in that process, I did learn that because I am prior service, I do not have an opportunity to go to FAT camp. Now, FAT camp has a real technical name. I can't remember what that name is. We just called it Fat Camp, and it's basically you go spend some time there. You'll get more like extra PT in so that you can be ready for basic training, right? So I think when I was 19, I was there for maybe 2 weeks, and then I got shipped down to basic training. So I ain't mad at it. I'm cool. I'm trying to get home as quickly as possible. So when we first walked into the room, she sat us down in this room, and then she immediately does like the blood pressure. Now, I disagree with my blood pressure being taken as soon as I walk into a room. Okay, I'm 42 years old. I've been walking, carrying bags, doing all this stuff, and I'm nervous, right? And so I already know that me doing all those things, my blood pressure is going to be elevated because I am super nervous. So she takes my blood pressure. Blood pressure was sky high. She did it. And then she said, okay, we'll do it later. Now, when she say later, I'm thinking later. Okay. No, she comes back again. No heads up, no type of warning or nothing. Okay. I'm still in there, sitting there nervous as heck. So she took it. It did come down a little bit, but it was still high. So in that instance, I had to have a doctor do my blood pressure at that point. But that was just a little bit after a couple of stations. So we got blood pressure, vision. So I went to do vision. Now I do generally wear glasses. How I got 20/20 vision for the military, I don't know. Hearing, you go in this room, you put the headset on, and you're going to hear a series of beeps. They want you to hit the clicker no matter how faint the sound is. And so when I got done with that, she was like, oh, girl, you can hear. She was like, that left ear? She was like, that left ear? She said, your right ear is good, but that left ear, you can hear everything. After that, I went into what did they call it? I'm trying to think of what it was called, but it's where they took me in there to actually do the height and weight. It was female ortho something. I can't remember what the sign said. I'm trying to picture the sign in my head and I can't remember what it said. But that's where she just did the height and weight, and because I didn't make the height and weight, she measured me. There are some guidelines around that, and I think you can just find that at I think the website is army.com. Somewhere on there you should be able to find the calculator. If not, you can probably just Google it and it'll tell you based on your height, your and your age, something like that, I think. But we can look that up. I can probably put that somewhere. So once I didn't do that, I was just like, can I go to the bathroom? Because how y'all gonna weigh me and tape me and I gotta use the bathroom? Like I just, they don't care about the order of anything. Okay, they wasn't doing nothing that made sense to me, but they did finally let me go to the bathroom after that. They do have to watch the fluid, the urine, leave your body. And so if you are a person who is not comfortable or okay or not, because there are people out there who are just not able to pee when people are around, they'll be like, okay, I can turn the water on for you, see if that's helpful. It wasn't a problem for me, probably because I've been through this process before. Um, you're not supposed to flush the toilet. Guess what I did? Told me 100 times, don't flush that toilet. Okay, so I used the bathroom. I wiped. Then she caught my leg mid-air, like I told you, don't flush that toilet. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I did. So then she was like, okay. I was like, well, there's toilet paper still in there, so it didn't go down. And so she was okay with that. She asked the person who was doing the test. I think it was for just like I think it was pregnancy and drug testing. Um, she asked them, was they okay with that? And they both were, because I was, they seen me. Um, I did go to do blood work. Um, and on that paper, it just had HIV on there. So that was just the HIV screening. Um, After that, I went to see the doctor. Oh, wait. So by this time, so during this visit, I saw the doctor twice. The first time I saw her just so that she could take my blood pressure. She was really nice. Um, she was very calm. Her voice was very calm. So I feel like that was very, very helpful in bringing my blood pressure down. She just kept saying to me that everything is okay, nothing is going to happen here. And so that was really helpful for me. And I did let her know that I appreciated that.
We're just checking on you.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm almost done.
Can we have something like a snack?
Sure, go ahead.
What's inside?
I don't know. Go look. Go get some fruit.
Well, is there any bananas?
The second time, JJ,
Is there any bananas?
I'm recording. Please go in the house. Go find something. Go find something. The second time I saw the doctor at some point during this process, that's where, yes, I had to do the famous duck walk. But that's where she goes over Genesis again. Genesis is the electronic health system that the military uses, and it is supposed to be able to see a lot of things. I guess there was a time when people would not be so honest about things about their medical history. Go ahead. When people wouldn't be as honest about their medical history. So I guess you're supposed to be able to see, they are supposed to be able to see a lot of things. So doctor's visits, ER visits, urgent care, things like that. So that's where you will discuss that information with the doctor. They will mention to you anything that is concerning, and just, give you an opportunity to answer. The one thing I do know about the system is that, yes, they can see it, but sometimes the doctors don't always tell you what they put into your charts. We as patients may not always read the doctor's notes or the chart. So you may legitimately have something there that you have no idea about. And I would just say, don't panic. Just explain to them, no, I don't know what that is, or yes, I know what that is, or it wasn't anything. And so I would just say, just be calm there. We did do a series of like tests. Let's see, she had me jump on one foot. I had to bend down, touch my toes. I had to do the duck walk. And that was just really, just getting down. Obviously, it's walking like a duck. I think the most important thing there is heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. I did probably exactly 4 steps. And I know people were saying in other videos that they had to walk forward, then pivot, and then walk back the other way. That was not my experience. I only had to walk forward, and then I was done. Let me see. She had me like touch the bed, like turn around and like face the bed, and then just kind of like bend my legs a certain way, like back. You did have to do, and maybe this is probably going to have to be another video because I'm going to have to demonstrate some of the things that we did do. But a lot of this was just to see how your joints are working, see if if you're trying to hide anything, limps and stuff like that. If you're in any type of pain. Crazy thing is though, the day before my MEPS visit, the day that the recruiter was picking me up, I randomly started having this pain in my back. And I was so scared. I mean, like, I was legit in pain. I slept on my water bottle, like, right up under my shoulder blade. And I was not sure what that was. It did eventually go away. Um, let's see. I think that's it. I did, like I said, I did pass everything except height and weight. So I was very excited about that. Very excited to be able to move on to the next process. Because I didn't meet height and weight, I wasn't able to enlist that day. I wasn't even able to look at jobs. So the next time, so that's what I'm doing now. Now I'm in that period where I just have to lose 3 inches. And I'm saying 3 inches because medical taped me at 40. The liaison taped me at 41. I got to get down to 38. So not going to be very hard to do, right? I've been eating right. I've been eating clean. I've been being more active. And I'm also going to start like running, with the recruiter as well. So I was very surprised that the internet scared me more than the actual MEPS visit. Now, granted, my blood pressure was sky high out the wazoo, but I was able to get through it. I was mentally harder on myself than MEPS was. It did not have to be like that. I totally stressed myself out, and it was unnecessary. And just the waiting was honestly the hardest part. The military is very much so hurry up and wait. And I guess when I'm saying though, the waiting was the hardest part, the waiting for me was actually getting to the MEPS appointment, and just, the fear of the unknown, wondering if I'm good enough, right? Because one thing I do have to remember, and one of y'all actually reminded me, I'm 42, not 82. Okay, I can do this, right? I do think that I have a point to prove to my 42-year-old self. Okay, because the last time I was in the military, I was 19 years old. All right, that was a long time ago. So I am very excited about this opportunity. I think that basic training and going back through that process is one that I need for a number of reasons. Yes, it's going to suck, right? But basic training is basically, it's going to take away all those bad habits, right? It's going to get you out of being lazy, those bad habits, just the civilian way, like just in general, and mold you into a whole new person. Okay? I'm not saying that I'm lazy. What I am saying is that I am a single mom of three. Um, Life has happened. I've had loss. I'm dealing with grief. And I do think that I need a reset. And I think that basic training is going to be that reset for me mentally, physically, right? Um, it's the thing, and I didn't even know that reset was the word that I was actually looking for, but it is, right? So I'm ready for the challenge for more reasons than one. And yes, this is the ultimate sacrifice that I'm willing to do for my kids to make sure that they can reap the benefits of this sacrifice. All right. So if I could leave you with one thing in this video, because I spent weeks trying to disqualify myself before MEPS even had a chance. And then I go there, and then I think I want to use the term that I passed it with flying colors, right? All but the weight, but that's not what we're talking about. There's something called pulleys. And medically, I got all ones. I think it was ones. Yeah, I think ones is the number, right? And so she showed me this page, and it said pulleys. I didn't need no medical waivers. And she said that is a very rare thing where people don't need medical waivers. And here I am trying to disqualify myself, trying to make myself believe that I'm not good enough to do something because I'm 42. So my advice is, if you're 36, 38, 40, 42, whatever, however old you are, stop counting yourself out before you even try. This is just the beginning of my journey, but I wanted to document it for somebody else who may be nervous like I was, right? And I wanted you to see it or hear it from my 42-year-old perspective. This is Dear Diary, it's E.
Maybe I'm not late. Maybe this is right on